All right, guys, bombshell news today. After Coach Prime's or during Coach Prime's weekly presser today on Tuesday, Julian Lewis is going to redshirt. And so that means he's not going to play in this game against Kansas State to close out the season. I'm going to dive into, I think, all the different aspects at play here. I find very, very interesting. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and shout out to the channel sponsors, Colorado area Taco Bell's, and the Buffs box, and of course Kalshi. Use that promo code DTB, get yourself a $10 bonus once you deposit $10. And I'm not putting money on this Buffs game, but I am on Shador to beat the Niners in Cleveland. We'll get to that later on, but let's get to the top news here. Julian Lewis redshirting, and Coach Prime talked about how this was his decision, that Julian Lewis was upset about this, but ultimately Coach Prime is doing it to look out for his future. Now, this is kind of interesting because Brian Howell, a lot of guys that, cover college football for a living, have talked about how they think the red shirt is going away very, very soon, and everybody's just going to have 5 years to play 5. But that's not an official rule yet. So I guess with the red shirt still being a thing, this helps secure Julian Lewis and his earning potential to make sure that it is a total of 5 years in college. So he could, of course, he got paid this year, and then he's got 4 more years to play. And he's going to be able to maximize his time in college and his earning potential in college. So like on the surface, I think like that makes a lot of sense. I do find it a little puzzling how this was Coach Prime's decision. At least he's framing it that way, and that Julian Lewis didn't want a red shirt. I do think that's like kind of interesting. Now, I don't think this is something to where he would leave over, right? I think if there was a big enough disagreement over, there are other things I think to get more upset about, okay? But I don't think he's leaving this year. But I can understand Buffs fans' frustration with this. And I'm not really frustrated with it. Buffs fans' frustrations with it because they're like, all right, well, if he has to come back for a 5th year, or if he has to come back for a 4th year, likely he's not good enough to be quarterback, or he'll probably transfer somewhere else to increase his draft stock. And, maybe that can happen. That's a long ways away. I would like to see Julian Lewis play in this game because I think reps are just beneficial for him. But, I'm not going to throw a fit over it, because I guess looking into it, it was like, 50-50 if he would play this game. I thought he would play this game, but here we are. And I got to say, I think the most puzzling thing about this is that we're going to get one more game of Kaidon Salter. And I think like that's what I'm most upset about, to be honest. Now, maybe it's because some people on Twitter brought this up. Hey, maybe you want to get back a little bit more of that investment, right? You gave Kaidon Salter. But to me, I feel like, again, you can't blame just Coach Prime or just the coaching staff or just the recruiting staff or just the players or just Kaidon Salter, right? For this sort of season right now where we might finish the season with 3 wins, man. That's tough. But Kaidon Salter, I think, played a main role in it. And as a 5th-year senior quarterback, I expected him to handle himself better in body language, on the mic, and just be a leader on this team. And he wasn't. And I almost feel like you're rewarding that. That's how it almost comes off to me. It's like you're rewarding that. Why not just play Staub? Why not just play Ponder? Guys who have waited their turn, guys who have been 100% fantastic teammates. I would much rather see Ryan Staub play on Saturday than Kaidon Salter, I'll be honest. And yeah, Kaidon Salter's the more talented quarterback probably out of those 3, right? But to me, he's not really somebody who galvanizes the team, man. And I know, man, it's just, we're talking about Staub and Ponder. It's probably not that big of a deal. But to me, I don't like the fact that we're going to get the opportunity or that he's going to get the opportunity to go out there and start again when he was a disaster this year. And I'd rather see Staub do that. But hey, if we get the win, I'll be all happy and all those sorts of things. And I don't think Kaidon Salter has any pro prospects with the NFL, but hey, maybe you can put some good film on for the CFL or the UFL. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm like being serious about it. Like, yeah, I think he has a shot to play in those leagues at some capacity. So maybe he capitalizes on this opportunity. So, yeah, in terms of Julian Lewis, though, loved what we saw. I wish we could have seen more. I think going back to the Delaware game, again, that was awesome seeing Ryan Staub ball out, right? It was a lot of fun. But the process of that game was just so jacked up. And now it's, coming to bite us in the butt here with we got what 2-3 drives out of Julian Lewis against Delaware, and it's costing us a full game against Kansas State, and that is very frustrating. And yeah, I hope after Kansas State, hey, we'll start seeing those wholesale changes on the coaching staff, on the recruiting staff, and hopefully with Coach Prime as well, man. Um, I hope that this has been a big learning year, not just for how he needs to change the staff, but for also like he needs to change his how he's making decisions, man. Because we've seen a lot of it over the last 3 years, right? Just stuff that doesn't make sense. The Delaware thing, dude, never seen that in my life. The Ronald Coleman thing, never seen that in my life. Um, Things like that. I want to see him be, I don't know, just make better decisions, right? Like, how do you feel if you're Michael Welsh or Dallin Hayden on that drive when you get pulled out, when you're running for over 5, 6 yards a carry, dude? You know? So those little things, I would like to see him improve with. But yeah, this is another one that's kind of interesting where it's not Julian Lewis's decision. It's Coach Prime's, and I find that very, very interesting. So again, in summary, I'm more mad and frustrated about the fact that we got another game like Kaidon Salter. I'll probably throw him in the thumbnail, dude, because I'm just not pumped about it. Wish we could see Julian Lewis, but it is what it is. Y'all be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And guys, I did put some money down for Shador Sanders over on Kalshi to beat the San Francisco 49ers, man. And I think that this is a legitimate opportunity for Shador to secure the starting spot for the rest of the year. San Francisco's got to travel to Cleveland. Cleveland has a fantastic defense. Brock Purdy turning the ball over like crazy. They're on a short week. Cleveland at home with Shador now getting a second week of first team reps. I thought Kevin Stefanski had a really great game plan for his first start. And so now let's see what he can do. But yeah, like right now, the opportunity on Kalshi is great. I mean, say you put $5 down, you get the chance to essentially triple your money right here, man. If they get the win. So yeah, go ahead, get over there on Kalshi, guys. But this is going to be a fun week, man. There are other guys to watch on the team. Like young guys on defense, running backs. I doubt Jordan Seaton plays in this game, but maybe some younger offensive linemen. We can see what they do. And then hopefully, man, Shador will help us end this week on a high note, getting the second straight victory, this time against the mighty San Francisco 49ers. Y'all have a great day. We got Buff Splits tomorrow early. I think it's at 6 p.m. Mountain. So we'll see you then. Let's go Buffs.